glorify this gang lifestyle, there's only two outcomes. It's either you're tried by 12 or carried by 6.
If I was put in front of 1,000 young men right now, the most thing that I would like them to understand is don't be afraid to say no. Don't be afraid to look at your friend, your brother, your mother, your sister, and tell them, no, I don't feel that. This is what I feel. And don't feel like you are obligated to do what the others do, even when you don't feel that in your heart.
Instinct is a strong thing. Like, it might be a big sign, or it could be a little thing, but usually your first thought about something is the one that you should go with. Because my first thought was not to go, and if I didn't go, I wouldn't be sitting here on a life bid right now.
It's easy to do the bad things. It's hard to do good. You know what I mean? So you have to ask yourself, is this all that this is for you? The odds are against you, yeah. But do you feel like this is all you could be about, the streets? If it is, well then go hard.
Yeah, some my youth touch road, true thing. I have 50 grand for anybody who touch that youth there. So you don't know already.
Yo, dog, at the end of the day, it comes down to this. Do you want to live or do you want to die?
Let's give a hand for Zya's work and welcome Chaplain Carter. Thank you, sir. Also starring in the video, in case you didn't notice.
Good afternoon, everyone. It's great to see you all here. This ministry of working with a different demographic than the church is used to is so necessary. And really, it's the only reason why the church is called. We're called to be out and to reach those who are lost. When we look at the work that Zya has been doing over the last 10 years, it's hard for me to replace Zya because the passion that she speaks with really tells an understanding her journey of what she has done, helps us shift to a place where we understand that it's life or death for her. It's truth for her. It's part of her journey about helping those who are incarcerated. A lot of the men that we saw within the video, I had an opportunity to connect with. They're telling their stories. If you heard them carefully, you would have recognized that they said, if your mother or family tells you to go down this route, you have to be strong enough to tell them no. And the idea that your family member is the one that's taking down a route that could lead to incarceration, that could lead to your death, that can lead to a place where they're willing for you to be exposed to that pain in order for you to fit in, is complex and it's hard to believe for a lot of us. We believe our parents want what's best for us. We believe that they understand what is the direction we should go. And how many of us would look at our family or our mother or father and say, they don't want what's best for me. In our minds, we understand that whatever they're telling us, that is the way that we should go. This is what the family does. And if you're part of this family, you're going to participate in what this family does. So how many of us are truly strong enough to look at our family and say, I don't want to do that? How many of us are truly strong enough to say that if a parent says, under my house, my rules, you're willing to say, I'm going to walk away? I would imagine the number is very few of us, especially at an impressionable age. When they talk about the numbers of people incarcerated lowering and under 30 years old, that is a reality. It's a reality that the majority of our institutions are filled with people under the age of 30. It begins at a very young age. It begins with us entering into their communities and making ourselves available. And sometimes we as a church are so used to living within the boundaries of our church that until we are ready to stretch farther and go farther, there will not be change in this city. There will not, I'm telling you, there will not be change in this city until we are committed to making a change as a faith community. Another part of what Zya shares about is she talks about this started during the year of the gun. That's what birthed this program for her. So what she's saying is that she recognized that people are dying. People are getting shot. And she recognized that if she doesn't do something, if we don't do something, things are not going to change. And so her understanding and some of our fears, I believe, are becoming true. One of my fears was that we are going to get desensitized to the amount of shootings that happen in our city. That we are going to be accustomed to hearing that on the news. This person has been shot. Violence, 2 people on the weekend, 3 people on the weekend, 4 people, another one dead. And this has become the norm for us, such that we do not respond the same way that we did 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 15 years ago. We are now living in a place where shooting has almost become commonplace. And how is that acceptable for us as believers? How is that acceptable for us to know that people are dying around us and all we are doing is continuing to go to church, to the mosque, to the temple, and not intervening in the lives of those who need us the most? We need to start to look at ourselves and ask the hard questions. As Joseph would put it, are we willing to go the second mile? Are we willing to put something at risk for ourselves, to serve our brothers, to serve our community, to serve our families that are around us? It began with me, it didn't begin with me, but I remember pre-COVID, 2017, my wife and I are on vacation. We're on a resort, well-needed vacation. We've been in school, working, all of the above, and we said we're going to get away. We actually went to the quiet pool within the campus so that we wouldn't be disturbed. And I could oversee the water, and I could see the mountains, and I was relaxed, and I felt like I was in paradise. And then all of a sudden, I get a phone call. I normally don't even walk with my phone. I'm in another country, and my phone rings. And so my phone rings, and I answer it. And who is it? It's a camper that I had 5 years previous. She was 12 years old when we had her. She's now in her late teens, and she said, one of the twins have been shot. One of the twins are struggling to stay alive in the hospital. I was stuck, I was frozen, I was in another place, but the question was, why did I get that call? I had moved out of the province. I hadn't necessarily been in contact with that individual for a long time. But the truth of the matter is, I had become part of their welcoming faith community. I had been in their lives for 3+ years, and I was meeting them on a regular basis. So regardless if I was going there in whatever title I was in, I'm happy that Joseph shared about the Salvation Army. I was actually working for the Salvation Army at the time. And the Salvation Army had decided that they're gonna go into a difficult community and they're gonna invest into that community. What did that community look like? It looked like people waking up at 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the morning for prostitution. It looked like people on the corners using drugs. It looked like people all over running back and forth under the influence. But we decided that we're going to go in there and we're going to start to connect with the community. We're going to walk around and we're just going to be present for a little while. We just want to know what is happening there and what do you as a community think that we can do to help you. We're not going in with an agenda. We're not going in saying that we're going to preach the gospel. We're going to be present and we're going to allow you to grow the way that we grow. And this is a place that ministry somewhat needs to start to look like. When we were in there, that actually is the first place that I did any prison ministry. Another one of our campers' father was in jail. Not only his father, but his grandfather as well was in jail. So most of the time, I was in there visiting with grandma, doing camping stuff with the little kids, and on occasion connecting with people on the street and the homeless. What that really did for me was a matter of understanding the community and getting a